Good morning.
Hello.
So we have coffee and we have Panda, who is beacon of Gondor a little bit, but the curtain's over as far as it's gonna go for now. So I'm just kind of leaning over this way. But so we're talking books and movies and gaming today. So that's what the other media is. Um we're gonna start out with Val. This is kind of a catch up on, what we've been reading and our progress on it. And so go for it.
I've been into a lot of older things
Mm-hmm.
lately, I guess is a way to put it.
Historical stuff. Yeah.
We were at the show before Christmas at the bookstore at the International Book Project, and I picked these two up. They were on a $1 cart. This is the first one in the series. This is by S. Thomas Russell. It's called Under Enemy Colors. It's the first book in a 4-book series. Takes place during the Napoleonic War. And it's about a guy who is sent aboard a ship to kind of, well, for lack of a better word, spy upon the captain. So, so far it's very good. It's well written. It's fast paced. I like the main character. I don't like the captain that he's spying on, but the captain may or may not drink himself to death in the
next chapter.
3 or 4 chapters, and then he'll have to assume command of the ship. So we'll see. But it's very interesting so far. It's weird. I'm not, now that I'm getting a little bit older and I'm even more interested in history now than even 10 years ago. I'm starting to get interested in things like the Napoleonic War, ancient warfare, things like that, tabletop wargaming, things like that, with miniatures and things like that, which leads me into the other book that I've been voraciously reading. Like, I think this is the 3rd read through on this book. It's the Ancient and Medieval Skirmish War Games. So it's called 1 Hour Ancient and Medieval Skirmish War Games. It is the second in a series of 3. The first one is a sci-fi version of this, so you can play with things like Warhammer miniatures, things like this.
Which that's one of the ones I still have to get you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're doing.
And the sci-fi skirmish scenarios is the other one. So, but yeah, I've been reading that like crazy.
Little, so it's awesome.
I snagged that one first because you can use your like D&D miniatures with it.
1 hour.
Yeah, it's played with decks of cards. Yeah. So it's not played with dice. You don't have to have like 50 d6s to play it or something. It's just played with 2 decks of cards, which you can get at Walmart or Dollar Tree,
But we like math rocks.
Yes, of course we do. I found another game for that to use with those, but that's fine.
I've been reading on... I stalled out on Wayward because I've just been too busy. I love what I've read so far of Wayward, but I need to pick up the non-business books, which that ends up being most of my reading is business stuff or, stuff that hones my skills, or maybe research material or something like this. I am actively working on Stalemate again. So for those of you who have been following my journey with Stalemate, that is getting not overhauled, but Stalemate, the original book, because I have to hit 90,000 words by, or I'm hoping to hit 90,000 words by July, for the agent that has already approached me to take a look at it again and see about sending it to the top 5 publishers in New York. So, which I may or may not go with her. It's going to depend on offers and what my constraints are as the owner of the IP and that kind of thing, because I'm wanting to do a game in the journal and a bunch of other stuff with it. So she was already kind of like, that's too much, don't worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, but this is what I really want to do. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what the offer is. but I've had to go back in and actually outline Stalemate, which I didn't really have an outline for it because it was originally my thesis script for my master's. This book has been fabulously helpful. I already knew how to do all the stuff that's in here, but having something that I can go through that has it broken down step by step is helping me to go through the book and just kind of follow the checklist, so to speak. They actually have the whole thing as a checklist in the back, so technically I wouldn't need to read it, but I'm very much the type that I take workshops and webinars and all sorts of stuff, even if it's something that I can already teach, because it's somebody else's perspective. And I always, pick up some kind of a hint or a tip or just change my way of thinking on things by doing that. So even though I could have written this book probably, um, I'm really enjoying it. It's Louis Jorstadt. I've linked to it before. I'll link to it again. And I picked up a copy of Edit, which is actually the third one. I need to get Draft, which is the second one, and the fourth one is Publish, I think. But I want the whole set. Great read, lots of examples. Just really enjoying it, annotating the crap out of it, highlighting it, because this is one of those books that's going to stay in my reference library, so it's not something I'm going to sell. But it's manageable, so I can just tuck this in my bag and make some notes. And it's been more than 10 days me reading it, but from start to finish, I'm shooting for the 10-day mark for the actual work of doing this. So I've been reading that. I am doing a final edit on this little guy, and I'm making that one piece of hair keeps sticking out. Okay, I'm in that in between. I want to cut it all off phase. So this little guy is very thin. The Pip's Little Book of Letter Writing, and I'm going to go ahead and keep the name Pip. Pip's Little Book of Letter Writing is going to be like much thicker than this, but this is the size that I'm going for. And I've got the fabric up in Spoonflower for the end pages, and then this has a coloring page with our crazy chicken and discussion questions. And I'm going in because I have a problem with Ingram Spark with their cut lines, because the digital proof looked fine. This does not. So I don't like how tight the text is up here. There was a lot more margin on the digital. And so I'm going in and fixing where the text is. And that's literally all I've got left to do on this. So this will be available soon. The digital is already up. The ebook is already up. The ebook looks fine. But yeah, so this little guy is going to be up soon, along with a couple other things, including a self-publishing guide that I'm putting together for my authors for the publishing company. But yeah, so that's the update on Stalemate. I've got my regular prologue, the Panda King 4, which is Gustav and Amelia's story. And then I am doing Stan's story, which was supposed to be the second novelette. I've submitted something else for the Imaginarium anthology for this year. So I'm waiting to hear back on that. And then Stalemate, what I've already written, is the bulk of the book. And then I'm adding in a couple of other things, but I've decided that I'm going to do something on Heinrich. So anybody who has read, beta read, or anything for me so far is going to have a little more on Heinrich soon. I actually have a bunch of people looking it over in Discord and have been getting some really good feedback. So I will be back to printing out each chapter and revising it and then posting it there for them to read. So I am making progress on that. I have 2 Billy the Bear books that I'm trying to get out right now, and 2 new authors. And my friend Jennifer Noren is actually coming out with hers. We're waiting on some last minute changes because we got, again, trim errors that were not on my files, that were not me, on her book, which is her father wrote. A is for Edelweiss, an absurdist ABCDary. So she did the illustrations for it, and that will be coming out soon, very soon. We just looked at our hardcover proof copies this past weekend. And I do not have it in here, but I don't want to kind of flash it to everybody just yet. So, other stuff that's gone on. We actually went to a movie the other day. Was that Sunday? I think it was Sunday.
Yes.
So we caught the matinee on Sunday for Avatar: Fire and Ash. And we had seen Way of Water. We got it from the library. Watched that Saturday night and got caught up because I'd been wanting to see that. Way of Water was really good. Loved the first one. Loved the second one. Fire and Ash blew both out of the water.
Yeah.
But that also was seeing it on big screen, so I think that made a big impact. But James Cameron did it again, and it's brilliant and beautiful, and the story was great, and the effects, and there's one particular thing that was kind of a surprise that I loved, but I can't say anything because it's a spoiler. So yeah. So but I was looking at, he's like, well, I don't think I've ever seen anything other than Avatar that he's done. And so I pulled it up on IMDb. He did True Lies. He was Schwarzenegger. He did one of the Terminator movies, Terminator 2. But the rest of his credits, other than a couple other things, it's mostly gaming, which I didn't realize. So he's huge in the gaming industry. So that's a rabbit hole I'm going to have to go look through. But he's, produced and written and directed. He's been a screenwriter on a lot of different things. But he's been really innovative with the Avatar movies. If you ever watch any of the behind the scenes stuff, he uses motion capture, and he has a device that he actually can go around and look at the pre-production stuff and see all the digital stuff just by looking. It's kind of like looking through a hagstone. Supposedly you can see the Fey realm, like Spiderwood Chronicles talks about that, where you've got this little hagstone and you can look through it and see all the things that are hidden to normal eyes. And this thing shows you pre-production, all the digital work that's being done. So he can actually look at the movie, basically. And it's this huge warehouse with just a bunch of people, and the actors are in dot suits. I don't know what they're actually called, motion capture suit, but it's got little dots all over it. And they have, he invented, I'm pretty sure, the rig that comes around and captures the face. So they're acting with this camera in their face. They had done that with similar Peter Jackson with Smeagol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with Andy Serkis and just I'll post things, and then Smaug when Cumberbatch was doing Smaug, and Cumberbatch got into it. Oh my gosh, and he was like spitting and everything. It was great. But I'll link those. But the motion capture suits have always been a really, really cool interest for me. But yeah, I was surprised about the gaming industry stuff. And I don't know if he's waffling on his stance on AI or not. His big thing is we're not going to replace people with AI. We're going to use real people. But he's also come out and said that he's going to introduce generative AI for
Mhm.
speeding up production, but not replacing people. So I'm not sure how he's doing that. And because generally it's not a closed circuit. So if he's inventing something that's a closed circuit, I would be interested in that because
Yeah.
I don't use AI. I am okay with some assistive AI. I don't use it, but I know of it. Um, and like in Photoshop or any of the Adobe programs, I'll do things where I record what I'm doing, but that's not AI. That's me recording what I'm doing, and I can hit play and repeat those steps. So that's the
Mhm.
extent of the assistive stuff that I use. Um, or but that's not considered AI, and I am definitely opposed to generative. So I'm gonna sit back and watch and see what he does with that. Um, he's an innovator. He's, if anybody could come up with something new, he's got a good team. I would be interested in seeing what he's gonna do with that because I am vehemently opposed to generative and I don't want to have to stop watching your movies, James. Don't do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Um, speaking of gaming, though, we don't own it yet. I'd like to get us both the standard.
I think it's
It's
$19.99.
$20.
Yeah.
I just don't have the additional $40 right now.
Right.
But it's on Steam. Actually, it's not on Steam. You have to get it through their site. But Hightail, everybody we know that has been,
A Minecrafter for the last
Minecraft,
X number of years.
yeah, is currently playing Hightail,
Mhm.
and it's looks like Minecraft. It looks like a Minecraft ripoff, but it's not, and it's um. And somebody had made a point the other day. It's like you think Minecraft didn't steal from somebody else. It's like, well, there's inspiration everywhere from other games, playing on each other. Guild Wars 2, we see a lot of stuff that's kind of like, I've seen that before. I wonder where they got that
There
idea.
have been several other block games, though.
Yeah, Terraria and
Roblox and
yeah, there's all sorts of stuff out there. But Hightail has a lot of the stuff that we wished we could have gotten in Minecraft. A lot of stuff that some of these players have been asking for in Minecraft for a long time. Hightail has it. Hightail has some new tricks, which are really cool. But we've had a lot of fun watching,
Mhm.
Like Paul Source Jr. And I know you watched Etho and
Yeah, Ethos Lab.
um,
A couple of other people that I have never watched before who were
yeah,
just doing like 4-minute tutorials on things like this is how you actually do gardening in this game. Which
yeah.
was really enlightening because Paul's
Do
sitting
they
there
have
putting.
fishing?
Yeah, but the guy that I watched yesterday, that 4-minute video that he went over the chicken coops and everything, said that fish isn't like there isn't anything at this current time that's really necessary if you have to pull fish out of the water.
Mhm.
There's like one recipe that he deals with like cooked fish,
Yeah.
and it's not really like because you need to eat it. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like
I'm a big fan of fishing in games. That's kind of a zen thing for us.
World of Warcraft was that
World of
way for me.
Warcraft.
Yeah, I used to go up to the Ice
Yeah.
Crown area and fish
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah.
I made a lot of my gold just from
Mhm.
fishing and herbalism in that
Yeah.
game.
The Guild Wars 2, the fishing mechanic is interesting.
Yeah.
I still like doing it, but it's like playing Pong, and it's kind of annoying because you'll miss it.
Yeah.
But it's fishing in World of Warcraft was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Minecraft, I love fishing in Minecraft. So I'm hoping Hightail comes up with something for that. But again, we don't have it yet, so we haven't played it.
I mean, they've only had 2
personally,
updates, to be fair.
But yeah,
I've been
playing. Yeah, I've been playing PAX a lot. Oh, there's been people like in my community on Discord that have been like, I cannot wait. I have been waiting for this like all year, and for so there's a lot of people that have been waiting for months.
Well, it took them 7 years to develop it, so that makes sense.
Yeah, well, it's like Winterboro, I think, took 5 years.
5 years.
And I think it was originally one guy. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. I'm seeing a lot of these little games. Like, I'll download something if I'm stuck somewhere waiting for something. I will put a game on my phone, and then afterwards I'll be like, oh, this is a time sink, and I'll get rid of it. But I don't keep games on my phone very long, but there's been a couple that are like puzzles and like kind of like a mahjong style kind of game. And most of them pop up with a thing that they're made in Unity. And I have a demo copy of Unity. So I think that's something I'm going to learn this year, because I really want to make some kind of a game, even just as a test drive for phone, or for just learning more than anything. I eventually, which I have a copy of Unreal Engine 5, they will let you download it for free, but you have to pay before you publish. So it's a really good system, I think, for people wanting to learn. Like, I learned how to do Adobe and Photoshop and all that, like on bootleg copies before I ever had my own copy. And I like that the companies support you downloading a copy of like Maya or Unity or, that kind of thing.
It's just be able free to learn field research for them, and then when someone comes to them on the forums and says, "Hey, this is how I did this,"
But I mean, it's
makes sense.
It's smart that you can get it for free, and then when you figured it out and you actually have a product that you want to sell, then they ask you to pay for it. So I like that. I don't know that. I think it's working with and supporting the community versus making money, but I think it encourages them to make money, because you're supporting the community. It's a circle, and so I really want to play with that. I have some coding experience, but I've gotten out of it. It's been years, decades. And I would have to, refresh on, like, we had done basic in C++ and or C++. I forget. It's been a hot minute. And a couple others. Python I've toyed with, but I can do Mac, Linux, or PC, and anything within those
Visual
realms.
and QBasic years ago.
Visual was the other one.
Had to learn that.
Yeah. We had a few of them back when I was doing tech support, which that was like in the 90s. So give me if I don't remember. And because of the prednisone incident, which if you know me, you know what happened. Any terminology that I had is gone. I mean, that's, I have a hard time learning and retaining languages now. But yeah. So, and speaking of that, we're going to have new bugs. I'm going to have one that says the English language cannot contain me. And we got to figure out one for Panda. We got to figure out something for him. But yeah, so we're looking forward to maybe testing out a Hightail when we can. Right now it's just focusing on publishing. I'm not even, other than doing wholesale one-to-one with specific shops, I'm not even working on fair right now. I want to, but I want to get these books out. That's my biggest thing. So I will have updates on Dragonfly Press Publishing and throughout all the Renmeleon socials. I've got a couple of things that I'm beta testing for people and working on. And I am still playing PAX Day, which is no longer early access, but it's, we've had a lot of stuff that they're updating. We had the Yule update and some cool stuff. But just PAX is the only game that I'm really playing right now. I've got Guild Wars 2 that occasionally I'll pop in and do guild stuff, but I'm really, really enjoying PAX. So, and we're gearing up to do some stuff with the theater in the city that we built and, or that they built. And I have condensed my plots into one main area, except for I've got one by the river and I've got one by the Wolf Cave. And then I've got 3 that are right across the street from the city. That's like my workshop. It's Baba Yaga's workshop, but it's the house and the workshop and the root cellar. And I will post a picture to Discord of the root cellar because there's every gatherable in game in alphabetical order. Yes, I'm that person. But it's meant to be a resource for the guild, for clan. So so I had fun doing that. That was a late night kind of veg out thing to do, but so I will post updates in Discord. But we will be back next week again at 11 a.m. here on YouTube, and we have trying to think. My next live stream is Saturday at noon. So I will be doing art. We will probably doing some kind of a paper art project or painting, maybe. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing yet. But if anybody has any requests, feel free to post them in Discord. The next stream after that is gaming, and I'll either be doing Winterboro, Tiny Bookshop, or PAX, one of the 3. And we'll go from there. So we will see you next week. Stay well, stay safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, take care of each other, and be kind. Everything is going to hell in a handbasket right now, and everybody's having to deal with it regardless of what side they're on. So be kind for your own wellness, if nothing else. So we'll see you later. Bye.